There you go.
Okay. This is the August 12th, 2021 regular Historic Preservation Commission meeting. Call the meeting to order at 7:35. Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Pemberton, could you lead us, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, can you please take roll?
Ward.
Here.
Benoit.
Here.
Pemberton.
Here.
Lebrecht is excused, and Chair Cease.
Here.
You have a quorum, Chair.
Thank you. I need a motion and a second for the approval of the agenda and consent agenda, please.
I so move approval of the agenda and consent agenda.
I second. Thank you, Commissioner Ward and Commissioner Benoit. Okay. Moving down to special orders, presentations, and reports.
We still have to vote on it. I just didn't know if y'all had any
Oh,
discussion.
I'm sorry. Do we have any discussion? Anybody catch anything in the minutes or anything?
Nope.
Okay,
Ready to vote?
yes.
Approval of the agenda and consent agenda. Benoit.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Pemberton.
Yes.
Chair Cease.
Yes.
The agenda and consent agenda have been approved. On your consent agenda is the approval of the June 10th, 2021 regular meeting minutes, approval of the June 21st, 2021 special meeting minutes, and approval of the Founder's Day proclamation.
Do we vote on those or?
No, they're on
No,
the
they're
consent
just-
agenda.
just-
Okay, great. Well, we just agreed. Okay. I can move on? All right. Moving on to special orders, presentations, and reports. For proclamations and awards, we have none. We do have a city administration report. I would like to introduce you to City Administrator Bailey Saylor, who has taken over for Miss Kingsland. Welcome.
Thank you.
Would you like to say anything?
My name is Bailey Saylor, and I've taken over as the director of the Seward Community Library and Museum, and I'm very proud to serve the city of Seward.
Thank you. Okay, chair report. All right. So our CLG Celebration Presentation on Monday evening, 7/28/21, for the CLG Historical Walking Tour was a huge success. The cakes were beautiful and tasty too. Commissioner Benoit's video was a hit. You know, pictures sell. What do they say? 1,000 ships or something like that. Anyway.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was. It was really, really wonderful. And after the presentation, I took cake to Mary Tugas and Valerie Kingsland because they weren't able to stay and enjoy. So, and they were both very, very pleased. So, I'd like to make a suggestion that for future presentations in kind, that we would each reach out to, one of the contributors or donors or more, and personally invite them to be here,
I invited a lot of people.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to,
No, but I think that's
Publicly.
something to remind us. Yes.
yeah. So, and let me see. I am so grateful to each of our commissioners for all of their tireless work on the project My gratitude cannot be overstated. I thank each of you. And I do want to wish Miss Kingsland well, and I do want to welcome Naneth Ambrosiani for her help with the paperwork and coordinating that with SHPO, as well as Tongi, Commissioner LeBrecq, and I do want to welcome Director Saylor. And I also want to thank Commissioner Benoit, because we took a hiatus in July. The idea was, let's breathe. But Mary Ann has continued to work very hard. She has been, you know, she's just been working back and forth on this, you know, walking tour map and the thank you sign. So thank you. And let me see. Okay. Oh, and I also want to thank Carol Griswold, because she contributed valuable corrections and information for the historic walking tour map, as did Colleen Kelly. And that is very, very helpful. Okay, so the Holden Park fountain has not been working, and apparently there's some sort of an electrical problem. So they're trying to find out what's wrong and then how to fix it. So hopefully it's going to be working again, unless it's freeze up, and then of course we'll have to wait until next season. Yeah. But you know, the flowers look great, and Mary Ann and Commissioner Benoit and Commissioner Ward, you know, gave of their time, and they planted lilac starts that Commissioner Benoit started at home, which she will get into more detail later in the meeting. And Commissioner LeBrecq made sure that everything that was needed to be into SHPO was in by June 30th. And that was really important. He's been a great, he's been great at coordinating all these, you know, loose ends. He cannot be here tonight due to a personal family emergency. So I'd like to just take a moment of silence for that. Thank you. Okay, as we finish the walking tour, our calendar shows that the next big project at hand is the historic overlay. I've submitted some information that Doreen Lorenz sent me for some of what she titled RFP Sample for Historic Neighborhood Survey. And it's just an idea that, you know, would go out to contractors that, you know, we may consider in putting our
developing this.
Yeah, in putting our plan in place. Regarding this next project, I would like to ask that CLG be applied for it. It's going to take money, and it is going to be a multiple person project, and it is going to require the same commitment that the historical walking tour has required. So there are many hours, and I would just like to suggest that as our work sessions have primarily been about the CLG walking tour, That's going to happen with the historic overlay, but the historic overlay is going to require more detailed information, and I believe time spent because of ordinances and code. And so I don't know that we want to have special meetings that we have to call, or if we're just going to go ahead and understand that going in. And so when we look at the calendar to plan for the next phase, we go ahead and we schedule knowing that it's going to require more time. And of course, we don't ever want to violate the Roberts rules, so we want to be careful. That's why I would suggest that we actually have work sessions and not just committees. We can have committees, but we need to have work sessions so that all of us can be working on this. And I also want to take just a moment, and I want to do this with the caveat that this does not isolate who I'm going to thank. It doesn't make them any more contributors than anybody else or everybody else that has contributed to this walking tour. It has, I mean, we've just received a lot of support from the community, and we're very, very grateful. But the monetary donations that we have received, they allowed us to meet the grants matching requirements. And that is a do or die. If you're not able to do that, then you can't complete your grant, which means you lose your grant. And so I thank the people that donated to us very, very much. I'm sure we all do. I speak on behalf of our entire commission. Thank you. All right, with that being said, let's move on.
Good chair report. Thank you.
Okay. Next is the CLG report. Okay. For Tangi's portion, Commissioner Lebrecht's portion, he is not here. So I just want to let you know that he was going to report that he is working with Justin. As Commissioner Lebrecht has had this family emergency, Commissioner Benoit is probably going to step in and help him with this. But Austin is aware. All the pieces are here: the signs, the posts, the brackets. They're not in one place yet. And as I said, Commissioner Benoit is probably going to see to the coordination of getting everything together, and then she's going to coordinate a time to get together and make sure everything is as it should be. And then Austin will begin the work. Okay, so that takes care of the CLG report, unless Commissioner Benoit has anything?
Let's see. Since our last meeting, basically, our presentation to City Council, we just put a lot of information out on the Facebook page. So if you missed the presentation, you want to see the video, you want to take a look at the maps, that information is on Facebook. It's also on the city website. We sent out the maps for review to all of our partners to see if there was any edits and a few new people. And I specifically asked Carol Griswold if she would help with some review, and she spent a lot of time really going over with a fine-tooth comb, particularly the map portion, and gave lots of great edits. And the result of that was in the laydown for tonight, and since we put that out, I've gotten a few more edits that we will take from Carol and from some of the commissioners and others, so that we will take all that, and as soon as those updates are made, we will be able to finally print those final maps that will be distributed to the library and to some of the bed and breakfasts and hotels and Chamber of Commerce, etc. The signs and the posts have finally arrived. We'll be checking those and doing the locates with 811 to make sure that wherever we put them is not going to hit a power line or a gas line or whatever. So in the next month, we'll be getting the signs out and installed. We do have a display up at the Chamber of Commerce that you could take a look at. I've done a presentation to the Seward Rotary Club, and I'll make sure that whatever updates we do to this map and this information gets updated on the city website. And I think that covers everything.
Thank you, Commissioner Whitlock. For those of you watching, this is the map, the walking tour map. So that's the map side, and then this is descriptions of the properties. And it will be this size and then trifold.
Right.
Okay.
And also, if people want, on the website, there's additional historical information beyond what's on the map. They just have to check there, and then they can see
And there is
additional information. Because we only had so much room on the map, so, but if you want more, there's more.
And on each sign is this QR code. So when you're standing at the sign, if you want more information, or you want information that correlates with the number on the map, but there isn't any information, you can find that here on the website. Like, for instance, Urbox. Okay. All right. Moving on. The historic overlay. Commissioner Ward?
Now that the CLG grant is finalized and the signs are being installed, we can move on to a project that's been kind of out there, just kind of in a holding pattern, which is the Downtown Historic District Standards and Guidelines. And at the work session, the Commission has committed to following through on this project, which is to protect downtown. I will be scheduling a meeting with the Community Development Officer, Jackie Wild, and coming up with a plan as to what our next step is. And at our next meeting, we will be dividing up into work groups and beginning the process. I think we may at some point want to develop a ad hoc citizen group. Somebody like Carol Griswold might be really interested in and help us, have the energy to help us, as we're down 2 folks on the commission. So if anybody out there wants to join the commission, we'd be love to have you.
Please, please.
And but that's next on our plate, and we're all committed to it, and I will get a plan of action and we'll begin developing that forward. I also believe there will be some public hearings on it, and I'm hoping to develop a grant component so that we can build a grant library to assist property owners in maintaining their historic properties with the historic grant money that's out there. So that's all I have to report right now. Hopefully I'll have more to report at the next meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Ward. All right, Commissioner Benoit, the historic the Historic Preservation Facebook page.
Okay, so you can see in the lay down the statistics. It seems our reach was down a little bit for some reason. I'm not sure if that's a result of how much Facebook pushes the information out there, or if it's how much people are looking. But I think it's the middle of summer and people are outside doing things instead of sitting around looking at Facebook all day. So it was a little bit down, and I think that's why. But even though the reach was down, our engagement was up, meaning how much people that are looking at are actually paying attention and interacting. So that's good. what I was doing was I started putting together posts going all the way out through November. And what I'm doing is I'm taking each sign and then I'm basically doing a post about the sign and then breaking out parts of that sign with different pictures on the sign and kind of spreading it out over time. So maybe a sign would take a month of post for the whole, to cover the whole sign. That way, even if people don't get a chance to go out there and see, do the whole walking tour, they can see all of what we have come up with. And as far as picking the order of how these things are going out, I've been trying to have a focus on amazing women of Seward. So what I've been doing is pulling out all the signs first that had some like amazing women on, in that history. And I'm just doing them first. So that's kind of how I'm picking. You can see what we put out over time already, plus besides the information signs, we're letting people know about events that are coming up, like Founders Day and other things that are happening. Things that are happening with the walking tour, updated information like, how people can get involved, when the signs are going to be put up, things like that. And so I just want to say thank you to Resurrection Bay Historical Society and also Seward Community Library Association, because all these signs, if it wasn't for them, we would have no fantastic pictures on them. So that's where all of the photos came from, but I've also requested that I would be able to take little screenshots of our signs to use in these Facebook posts. So basically using the photos again to help get the educational message across, and they have both said yes. So thank you for that. And that's kind of the plan. That's what I've been doing. And if you can think of anything else that needs to be put out there besides like Founders Day and our meetings and things like that, let me know so we can get those scheduled.
We may get the historical overlay. We'll have some things later on once we get a
So
plan.
maybe what you could do is just put together like a little summary of what
What it
that's
is,
about.
what the project is.
And that we're starting work on that, and I'll make a post for that.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
So regarding the Founders Day? Okay, perfect. You've got what Resurrection Bay is doing, okay.
Yeah, I connected with them and asked them what they were gonna do, and they just recently sent me. They recently just sent me the whole schedule of events, which I'm not sure if it's on this one or if this is the old one, but actually
looks like-
this is the old one.
Yeah,
So
it looks like
the
the
one that's going out that I've already sent to Jessica has like a more complete schedule.
Great. That's great.
Can you resend it?
Yeah.
Just to make sure I have the right one on there.
Because I don't think that one has gone out yet.
No, it will be
Okay.
on the next council meeting.
Okay. So that's what's happening with that.
Okay. Any comments or discussion?
No, looks good.
Oh, I just thought of one more thing to add, related back to the historic walking tour. Bailey said that we can take the video related to that, and actually at some point in the future, we're gonna add that to videos that are shown like after the earthquake movies. So in the future, that would be something everybody could see.
And following, piggybacking on that, sorry, we need to offer that to the Resurrection Bay folks because they do it on Sunday. they open it, it's just volunteer open, and so if it, you know, if they know that that's happening, they can run that walking tour. And we had 52 people. I volunteered last Sunday, and they had 52 people that watched that, came in to the, you know, it was rainy, but that was a huge amount of people came through. I was surprised.
Yeah.
So
And-
anyway,
and-
that was really good. And so, yeah, just, you know, let the Resurrection Bay folks know as well.
And Director Saylor, we really appreciate your willingness to allow us to do this, because we live in Seward and it rains a lot, and some days are really windy and rainy. So being able to sit in a nice, warm, dry, comfy room and watch the video of the walking tour is a really neat idea. So thank you. Okay, so we have no other reports or announcements. No presentations. So, moving on to new business. Plan Founders Day celebration. My suggestion is going to be, because the last couple years we have teamed with Resurrection Bay Historical Society, which has been really great. I mean, we've partnered with them. But this year, I think that they've got it well in hand, and we're still, you know, pretty busy. So maybe next year we could partner again and do something.
Is there something we can do for Resurrection Bay on that day? I mean, you
Oh,
know,
sure, if they would like us
if
to.
they need volunteers or need somebody to fill in the gaps,
Yeah, that would,
that
yeah.
might just, in support of them.
Yes.
In
If-
support.
Commissioner Ward, if you can relay that to.
I'd be happy to talk to Linda or
Okay.
Colleen.
Okay, that would be great.
Supporting by helping get the word out on social media.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
we're doing that, but if they need some actual bodies.
Yes, yes.
You know, if there's anything we can do, I will just call or send a note to Colleen Kelly or Linda Lasota and just say, on Founder's Day, if there's anything you need, let us know and we will see if we can help you with that. So that we're at least giving them the support and rather be in competition, but support.
Yeah,
I'd be happy to do that.
thank you, Commissioner Ward. Okay.
And just for the record, the date for that is gonna be that August.
It's August
28th.
28th.
Right, okay.
Our city was founded August 28th, 1903.
Is that when the Santa Ana landed?
No, it's when the city was founded.
Oh.
Well, it might be.
Well, that's the boat that brought them all in.
Well, no,
the
I know
93.
that. I know that. But right now, I can't.
If it's the same one in the same.
Right, right.
Does it count if they put their toe in the water? So 28th Founder's Day, 1903.
Yes, yes. Okay, so discuss the certified local government grant. We did that in part. I
Is there
believe
anything else? Yeah.
we've covered the details, except that, yeah, we've covered the details on the current grant we're working on. With everybody's permission, I think that we should be okay and able to move on. Okay, Hoban Park. All right. So, Hoban Park is doing well. Commissioner Ward is going to talk a little bit about what she'd like to see for the lilac starts that she and Commissioner Ward planted. And I would like to talk a little bit about what I would like to see done that we began last fall over in the corner of the park. And I've already talked about the fountain. And I would like to ask Madam Clerk, if she could have a budget, our budget, in our next packet showing what's left in our budget, because we would like to have some monies to purchase some things for the park.
I know
Okay.
I've been in contact with Commissioner Benoit about the tomato cages, and we do have enough money for that.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Well, they're like $2.
Yeah, I know, they're very inexpensive. Okay. Commissioner Ward? I'm sorry. Commissioner Benoit?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Tomato
Okay.
steaks.
So, basically, back in June, I went over to the Restaurant Dark Coffee House and also the Blaine House, and I cut some more shoots, and I put rooting hormone on them, and then started them all in my house and waited till they had leaves. And, then I enlisted Sue's help, and we went down there, and we planted those back where, the previous ones were, because from last year, they pretty much all died, except the big one. Which was big enough and strong enough to survive through the winter. So I planted the little ones, or replanted the little ones, and I've been down there several times. I've watered them and looked at them as I go walking. I don't know why, but it seemed like there was a bunch of them. They're like pulled out of the ground and like a foot away. I don't know what happens, how that happens, but it happened last year. So I don't know if it's people that do that or people are running by and knock them off or what happens, but I would say that 2/3 of them are basically not alive anymore, and 1/3 are okay. So my thoughts were that people can't see them. There's kids running around, there's dogs, and things are happening, people can't see them, so they get destroyed. So I thought maybe if we purchased some of those little like tomato cage things, that you could just stick them out there, and that way people can see that there's something there that'll protect them from when they're doing the maintenance of the park, and also just people running around. It's probably kids.
Yeah, kids, dogs,
Yeah.
mowing.
And so I think that might help. And if we were to purchase some cages, like we could probably get all we need for like $30. It's not that expensive. And we could put some cages out there right now around the few that are still
left.
there that have some leaves on them. In the meantime, I did plant a couple in barrels at my house thinking, these are probably gonna get destroyed, and I would like to have a few backups, so I've got some. And I was thinking I could, cut some more, and we could plant some over at Chair Cease's place
Yeah, nice
also,
garden.
so we have some backups, because I think we're gonna have to keep babying this along until we get some, they can get established. And it would be nice to be doing these shoots from historic plants in town rather than going to Lowe's or something and
Buying some bare root.
lilacs. So we're just gonna have to be persistent, but I think that getting the cages and having some grow, that we can get some bigger ones before we plant too, would help. So that's my recommendation, is we buy these cages to help give them some visibility. We keep getting some more and babying them along, and just keep working on it with the till.
How many do you think have survived?
I think there's probably maybe 3 or 4 down there.
I've got some tomato, my dahlias, like we talked earlier, my dahlias are not big enough for tomato cages, so I'd be happy to donate what I have right now so we can get down there and protect them.
And the other thing is, last year we planted the one big lilac over in the southwest corner where the wall is, and we planted a couple of white roses.
Mhm.
Those roses seem like they didn't
No,
survive,
I didn't.
but I noticed the other day, Tommy, Commissioner Brook, has white roses at the cable house.
Ah,
And I've been meaning to talk to him, because if we can get some shoots from that, those are probably historic.
I
Yeah.
would suspect so.
And so
Yeah.
I was gonna ask him if we can
Yeah.
get some of those and plant some, keep working on that too.
Yeah. I also know of where there is another historic white rose
Oh,
and also pink rose. So,
cool.
yeah, but I don't, okay, so Commissioner Benoit, are you done with your portion?
I think so. Let me see if I forget anything. Yeah, so I think I guess the thing is, can we vote to be okay to buy 15 cages? It'd probably be about
Yeah.
$30.
Yep.
Yes, I would like to do that, but I would first like to, do my end of the discussion.
You first like to what?
I want to finish my comments on the southwest corner.
Oh, sure.
Before we talk about the money, okay? Budget, okay. So the southwest corner, the work that we did last year, we missed pulling up a stump. It's a small mountain ash, which everybody thought, well, yeah, that's fine, you know? And we worked, and we couldn't get it up. And it's got all these different, you know, branches, and they're big. And while we were there working, I fell on it, on my behind. And I mean, I had bruises all over. I mean, it hurt to sit for a long time afterward. So that needs to be removed, because as far as I'm concerned, that is a safety problem, okay? And I would like to see us have, you know, a mini cat go in there and take off, you know, the top soil, I don't know, like maybe 3 inches, because it's so heavily weeded that, you know, it's just gonna, the grass and everything's just gonna keep coming back. There are some bachelors that we could pull beforehand and salvage, and
What is that?
bachelor buttons. And I noticed there's another, you know, another there. I don't know if those are.
It looked like there was some Monarda down in
Yeah,
there too.
I don't know if it's historical, see, so I don't want to destroy that. I would want to preserve that. But then have them grade that out, but not damage the lilac, okay? And then go back in and replace it with good topsoil, all right? And then plant the roses. And I think that would also really aid the lilac that we have planted, okay? So that's what I would like to see happen there, and that is going to require some money. So if the Parks and Rec people are not going to be able to do that this year, fine. So, you know, we can just, you know, put that on the agenda for next year, you
I
know?
wonder if, like, since we're doing all this digging work with A1 chainsaw for this, the walking tour, I wonder if there's any chance we could
Just have them do the
just
stuff
have
there.
do that, get that thing out at the same time.
I had 8 of them removed on my property, and it can be really massive. They can, the ones that we thought were real small turned out to be massive.
Oh, okay.
And so it can be a huge project.
Yeah.
So, but if he's willing to try it, you need machinery,
Oh, I know.
or somebody who's
Yeah,
willing.
no, because there was 3 of us trying to dig it out.
Yeah, yeah. I had Tyler Pilo of Chimney and Tree dig mine out. He
Is
did
that
a great
something
job
that Jim could do?
with a machine.
Well, he's got to have machinery.
You've got to have machinery.
Yeah.
It was massive.
Sure.
Because since before we're talking about you running machinery on this project.
Well, we can take a look at it, but yeah, you know what? As long as you have that in there, it's going to be sucking all the nutrients, and you know, if you're trying
Yes.
to plant something in there,
Yes.
it's not gonna. And is it growing, or is it dead?
No, it's been cut.
No, but they can still come back. I mean, that's
Well,
what,
mountain ashes, I know. They
they're-
are persistent.
yeah, and those feral ones, they're just feral.
Yeah.
But like I say, I was shocked at how big what I thought was small stumps. I was shocked at how large they were. So if it's been there a while,
Yeah.
but I think you're right. Regardless of what we decide to do with the topsoil, if we don't take that tree out, it's going to be a problem forever.
Yeah.
It needs to come out.
And the other thing that I would like to see happen at Hoban Park is the larger of the 2 spruce trees is, you know, it's really pretty. In fact, everybody was like, great, okay, yeah, we have to keep that one. But we can let that little scrawny one go. And Commissioner Benoit, who worked for the Forest Service, was like, well, now, you know, you can't tell by a tree's size what its age is. It turns out that the smaller one is the older one. However, it does have some branches, you know, the boughs that we could prune. And I'd like to see that happen. So I'm not asking that we would approve an amount of money right now for this, but I would like to ask our commissioners, our commission, to, you know, process this, think about this. Because I'd like,
Come up with a plan.
yeah, come up with a plan and actually get this done next year. okay? So that's my 2 cents on that.
Give the park some attention.
Yes, give Hoban Park attention. That is our historic park.
One of the things that was really interesting when Commissioner Benoit and I were down there doing lilacs, people walked by, asked us what we were doing, and we told them, and they were real excited. They took pictures. They were, when I said, you know, and we talked about these little lilacs, that's why it's so sad that people have stomped on them, because we told them these were historic, we had found them around town, and people took pictures of them. I mean, you know, but they were really interested in what we were doing when we were down there, and we're just, you know, we're just digging in the dirt, but they were, you know, so I think
It's good advertisement for historic preservation.
Yes, it is. And, you know, and the other thing is, thank you for bringing that up. I water the urns. Those are the flowers I take care of. And, you know, when it's sunny and windy, it's a daily job, 1 gallon each, sometimes more. And, you know, I always get comments about how pretty they are, and the locals really appreciate it. Dot Barterson was, you know, Dot Barterson is behind all these wonderful murals. So anyway, that kind of made me feel good.
right. No, I think people, it'd be nice to give Hoban Park a little bit of attention.
I have talked to like Doug from Public Works last year about trying to get water over there, because so we won't have to like carry in
Yeah, 'cause,
water
yeah.
and stuff. And so I showed him historic pictures that showed there used to be a fountain or a faucet that came out down close to where the fountain is.
Like a hose faucet.
It was like a faucet coming off that wall. And I found
Yeah.
a historic picture and I said, look, before there used to be water
Yeah.
that came through there. So anyway,
Do you
I was
remember?
gonna check into something, or another thing he had mentioned was maybe the city could possibly pay the water bill over at Zudi's, and that way the water would be, just pay the water bill.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the water would be available for other things. So I saw him the other day, he hadn't really followed up on any of that stuff, but
Maybe
I'll
over
talk to
winter.
him again about it. So it was, you know, a potential path forward for that.
We
So
need
that's
water
right.
down there. We
Working
do
on it.
really need water down
Yeah,
there
we
in
do.
some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, we do. That's great, because do you remember Tracy Peterson? She was the gal that was helping us last year. She knows where the water line comes in. So, under the street, yes.
And
Yes.
it goes to the wall? Under the
Yes.
street to the wall?
Yes. So, yeah.
So there was a water
It
line
might be
there.
destroyed like when they did stuff in the
Exactly.
street, but
Yes,
it
we don't
used to be
know,
there.
but yes. Uh-huh. So anyways,
Well, it would
okay.
be nice, because I was really impressed with people that stopped by and talked to us. We had numerous people came by.
Not only that, we
And there
had
were young
somebody
people and
apply.
kids. And
We had somebody apply to be in the Historic Preservation Commission, even though they withdrew their application, and one of the reasons they said was, because I like planting lilacs.
yeah, we recruited somebody.
Yeah, so
So
those kind of things, the word gets out, and
Yeah,
it attracts people to feel like something. maybe
And Hoban
might
Park
be
is very
useful.
public. People walk by there.
Absolutely.
Zooties, people walk their dogs, people, the Sea Life Center.
yes.
You know, it's quite I was surprised.
Yeah.
You know, I was surprised at
Yeah.
how many people came by.
Yeah. And when we do get around to working the fence, the historic fence,
Restoring the fence.
yeah, restoring the fence, I'm going to stand strongly against putting it on top of the cement, because so many families sit on that and rest and just, you know, look out over the park. It's very comfortable, you know.
Where would we
So-
put it?
I don't know. I was thinking, and I don't know if this is gonna work, I was thinking, okay, we can put it around the, is it the walnut birch? I mean walnut cottonwood, is that what you call it? Or is it black cottonwood? Anyway, the
No
big
idea.
cottonwood. Around the cottonwood, and maybe across our corner, southwest corner.
So use it differently than it.
Yeah, kind of, you know, as guarding those areas. And then, well, I know, I mean, it's just an
I'm
idea.
thinking people could fall on it.
Well, we'll have to discuss that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we need a comprehensive plan for Hoban Park. I
Yeah,
think that's all part of what we want to do with that. And I think Hoban Park, again, is important enough. You know, Harry Hoban would be happy.
Yeah. Well,
What's
Seward
in the
is
National
happy.
Register?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even better. Okay.
So, keep
All
it on
right,
future
so
agenda.
I need a motion and a second for a budget of no more than $50 to be used for tomato cages, and I would also like to recommend that you get some of that like hot pink tape, you know, that people use to mark things off, and maybe tie that, you know,
Around, so it's,
between, you know, the rungs, so it's very obvious. Just an idea.
so, did you put out a motion?
No, I said I need a motion and a second.
Well, I'd like to motion that we spend up to $50 to buy tomato cages for the lilac shoots and pink flagging if needed to mark them.
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Ward and Commissioner Benoit. Any discussion beyond that?
Nope, I think we're good.
Okay. Madam Clerk, can you take a vote?
So spend no more than $50 on tomato cages for lilac shoots and pink flagging if needed for protection. Benoit,
Yes.
Pemberton,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Chair Cease.
Yes.
This motion has been approved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
I may have pink flagging, I'll look around, so I'll
Well,
donate.
it's in the budget if we need. I have some tomato cake, if we need it.
Okay. We do not have any informational items or reports. Do we have any citizen comments, Madam Clerk? Okay. All right. Commission and administration response to the citizen comments. Well, we don't have any citizen comments. Do I have any comments from any of the commissioners or our, what is your title?
Administrator.
Well, no, it's
Support.
what's the first part? Director.
Director, yeah.
Director Saylor. I'm sorry.
I think we'll have to talk more about the movie, just as far as like placement and talk with SCLA and the Iditarod Foundation, because they get donations for those movies. So we'll just need to talk more in depth about where we place it and how we handle donations and different things like that, and talk with SCLA.
Personally, I would be fine with either of those organizations, whether it's Resurrection Bay Historic Society or the Iditarod, to have the donations.
Yeah.
That it wouldn't, we wouldn't, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't affect us, I
And
won't.
then what
Do
was
we need to, just a moment, do we need to make a motion and a vote on that?
Sorry.
Not involving any remuneration for the showing of our video at the library? Okay,
No.
great.
Okay. And then what was
It's a
the length
community
of the video?
service.
Pardon me?
What was the length of the video?
Oh, it's like 6.4 minutes or something.
Okay.
We had to fit it in to our presentation, 7 minutes.
Yeah, it's very
City
short.
Council.
Okay, awesome. Yeah,
It's
that's
as short as I could possibly make it.
But it's actually really good.
Okay. Commissioner Pemberton.
No comments.
Okay. Commissioner Benoit.
I don't have, well, let's see, I'm very happy that the historic walking tour is coming to a completion phase. We just have to get them in the ground. So looking forward to the day that they're all up. I'm also looking forward to, like, when I'm 90 years old and I'm out walking around with my cane and I can still see signs out there and people are reading them and all happy. That's gonna make me feel so good.
Yeah, you put in hours and hours and hours.
So, and thank you to Commissioner Ward for helping me plant baby lime.
Lilacs, we're gonna protect them.
Commissioner Ward.
I just wanted to say, if there's anybody out there who would like to join historic preservation, if you have an interest in history. We have a couple of spots open, and we're doing some pretty unusual and interesting stuff. So if you like history and you love Seward, we have a place for you. There you go.
Thank you, Commissioner Ward. Well, she took the words right out of my mouth. Sorry. So, to add to Commissioner Ward's invitation for anybody that would like to join our commission, I would just like to be upfront about the commitment. So the description, when the notice is put out, says something like, we meet twice a year. Well, the truth be told, our schedule is, at this point in time, we meet the second Thursday of every month. We have a work session that starts at 6:15, and it runs generally an hour to an hour and a half, followed by a regular meeting. We take a small break in between, and we have a deadline of 9 p.m. We do not go past 9 p.m. But in addition to that, when we're working on really big projects like the historic walking tour and the next big project, which is the historic overlay, those require a lot of dedication. So dedication means time. So if you want to be involved but you don't have the time to commit, we welcome volunteers on our projects. So remember, volunteers make the world go round. Thank you. And I would like to thank my fellow commissioners. Thank you, Commissioner Benoit. Thank you, Commissioner Ward. Thank you, Commissioner Pemberton. Thank you, Commissioner Pemberton. You really helped us on our map, you know, catching our little typos. Thank you. And I would like to thank Director Saylor for her, contribution tonight. And I really want to also include thanks to our clerk, Clerk Stollard, for keeping me on track. Thank you. And with that, we are going to adjourn. It is 8:30 p.m.